I'm going to be checking in with my friend Josh today, who I spent the last couple months teaching how to become a consistently profitable trader. He actually just texted me the other day and showed me a trade where he was able to make 70% returns. So I want to see how he did that and also equip him with a tool that is going to help him increase his trading win rate, which, if you stick around until the end of this video, I will also give you guys. With that said, let's hop right into it. I'm gonna go ahead and give Josh a call right now. But yeah, Josh, how has the last month and a half been for you and your trading?
It's been good. I've been learning from my previous mistakes. I think I've put on 4 trades since we've talked last.
Okay.
That's obviously using the software as well. Now that I've moved locations, you could see, guys, this isn't Miami. There's snow outside. We're in the Great White North. I've had a little bit more time. I'm not working full time anymore. So, have more time to focus on trading.
That's awesome.
As well. It's been going good.
Okay, sweet. Have you been logging your trades in your journal?
Yeah, they should all be logged.
Do you want to screen share?
Yeah. Okay, so ABBV, I just closed out today. This is the one I had sent you a screenshot on my phone.
Yep.
Earlier. So it broke down, or it looked like it was breaking down through the 15. Which, let me pull it up on here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So the 15-day was like right here, if you can see my screen.
Yep.
It was like right there. And the 50-day was like down to here. And that's what I was playing too. So as you can see on this candle, it had broke through the 15-day, and I was just waiting for it to take profit.
Yep.
And then, as you can see, things took a turn pretty quickly.
So that was last week. How long were you in this trade?
I was in this trade for a week, which is longer than I would have liked. Looking back now, I should have gotten out because it was close to my take profit. But it had just probed the 15-day.
Had it actually touched the 15-day?
Yeah, so it did. It had broke through the 15-day.
Which was your take profit? So you didn't get out?
My take profit was the 50-day.
It was the 50. Okay.
Because when I was looking at this trade, I can bring it back up on my TradeZella. I should have photos of it.
Also, I don't want to interrupt you, but right now, Josh is obviously paper trading. So on Thinkorswim, they give you 100,000 in capital to paper trade with, but we're making like the scenario as if he had $1,000 to trade with. So he's sizing according to as if he had a $1,000 trading account, not 100,000. And this is paper because, as you're seeing right now, Josh did take a loss on this trade. One of the things that I always say, and I recommend everyone do, is start out trading with paper capital. It is the best way to go because you'll simply just learn all these very beginner basic mistakes. You'll start to have more experience in trading as a whole without actually risking live capital. And then Josh and I are going to get to the point, whether it is in a month or 2 months, where we will transition to having Josh trade with live capital. But that is not going to be for a while, or just depending on how many trades Josh does get on. We'll see. But this is a paper account right now that we are looking at. All right, go for it, Josh.
Yeah, so as you can see here, I was looking for a break down to the 50-day because that seemed to be the strongest support. As I wrote it here, I just got out of this position like 30 minutes ago. That's why I haven't written anything.
Okay.
I've been trying to set a Zoom call. But yeah, so I was just looking for a breakdown. Unfortunately, just probed the 15-day and then shot back up. So I did take a loss on that trade.
Okay, wait, this was a screenshot upon entry, yes?
Screenshot upon entry, yeah.
167 was your take profit. Your stop loss was 175.37. You gave it some area on top. Where did you end up stopping out? Did you follow your plan is what I'm trying to ask or figure out?
Yeah, I did stop out at just above my stop loss because over the long weekend, you can see it like went up.
Okay.
But I just stopped out right here. I just
okay, so this was part of your plan. Obviously, when you enter any trade, sorry to interrupt you again, but anytime you guys enter a trade, you need to know exactly where you're going to get out. And if that's for a win or a loss, you need to know exactly how much you're going to make or lose. So as long as you're following your plan, Josh, that's great. There's like, even though this was a loss, That's totally fine. That's why you're paper trading. That's why we're on this call, so we can keep working together, because it is inevitable in trading that you will lose money. And so, like I said, paper trading, losing fake money is the way to go about doing so. But as long as you're sticking to your plan, then we're on the right track.
Yep. My next trade.
So you lost 30%. That was planned.
I was shooting for more like a 20%. I got out a little high.
So was that because when you went to simulate the trade out beforehand, did you not account for being in this trade for so long?
Yeah, I plan my trades for 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
And end up being 7, I think, 7 days.
Okay, so you got out where you had originally planned to get out, right, on the chart, but
the theta made it more
because
expensive.
We're trading options, that extra day or two ended up costing you another 10% on top of what you plan to lose. So that's something we want to take note of. And as we get that accurate average hold period for yourself, we'll adjust that as we go. But I think you're at 5. Like when you go to enter a trade, how many days out are you running that simulation for to see how much you're going to lose or make, at which point you hit your stop loss or take profit? Are you going based off of 5 days?
I usually do 5.
Okay.
5 days is what. If it's like kind of teetering on if the win-loss is like good or not, I'll go out an extra couple days.
Yep.
Just to make sure that buffer is good.
Okay.
But yeah, usually 5 days is like my max that I've set. Question.
Yep.
So when you take a trade, if you're still sitting right in the middle and it's longer than like what I did, it's longer than you were expecting to hold, you just continue to hold it? Even if, say you're up, but you're not at your take profit, would you continue to hold it or get out?
If in this scenario, so you're saying if I'd looked 5 days out and I'd run my P&L and, in 6 days or, that 6 day rolls around and I haven't hit my stop loss or take profit, would I just get out even though I didn't hit my level?
Not necessarily just get out, but like if you were up, say, but you weren't quite at your take profit, like where you want to get out, but you weren't like at a loss yet, would you still hold it for the next couple days until you do hit your take profit?
Yeah, unless something changes from a technical perspective on the chart. I mean, I would follow my plan unless something like drastic happened. In this scenario, so if you're talking about getting out of the trade for a win, but not as much as I had planned, like I didn't quite hit that. So like you're saying you're getting close to the 50-day, or you hit the 15-day versus the 50. Okay, so in that case, like if it's a question of beforehand when you actually set up that trade plan, maybe you find out, and this is the back testing. I mean, it's technically forward testing, but what we're doing right now is you're able to have this experience in your own way going about trading, where you're going to learn, maybe you're setting these stop loss, take profit levels that are too aggressive. Maybe in this case, beforehand, you should have set your take profit at the 15-day versus the 50-day. Unless there's some very abnormal shift from a technical perspective on that stock that I'm looking at, I will stay in until I hit my target, whether that's a stop loss or take profit. In your case, looking back on this trade, do you think it would have been a better idea to set your take profit at the 15-day versus the 50-day?
Yeah, probably.
Because remember, you can set, it's like how aggressive is that SL or TP? Now, I want to set you up with a tool. I created a tool that should help you. We'll get you set up with that later on. But I want to kind of maybe break down 1 or 2 more trades you've taken. Let's go over 1 more red trade and 1 green trade.
Okay. So this NU trade I took, it was just a put. Let me open up this real quick. So it just hit the new all-time high. It had previously almost hit that same all-time high at 9.5. I was looking for a pull back down to the 15-day. And then let me see if I got another screenshot. So this is a little bit more zoomed in, or 50-day. I apologize.
Okay.
Looking for a pull back down to the 50-day. And it was pretty textbook. This is the one I sent you a screenshot of. It just dumped.
Whoa.
that next couple days, which had me be able to lock it in for almost 70% return on profit for
Wow.
um 68.79%. So it's pretty textbook, worked out exactly how I had planned, got out the trade below my take profit, which was sweet because it just, like I said, just completely crashed.
So this was, I mean, I know, but I just want you to tell the audience. So which setup was this that you traded specifically? Like, what did you identify on a chart from a technical perspective that I taught you? And then how did you know in the first place to even look at NU and what direction to bet on NU going if what you saw in a technical, from a technical perspective, aligned with that bias? I want you to try to explain how you found the trade, saw this opportunity, and took this opportunity.
Okay, so
Because 70% is crazy. That's a great trade.
so this was an all-time high pullback. As you can see, it had just reached that new all-time high at 9.5, like it is here, and it had almost touched it again. So I knew that that was a pretty strong resistance level because it had already tried to break that 9.5, but it hadn't. So then the 50-day looked like it was the strongest support, even though it was a little choppy.
Mm-hmm.
It was still just trading straight through the 15-day, and I felt like the 50-day was still better, and it was a reasonable percentage. I don't have a screenshot of the percentage that I drew out, unfortunately. And then if you go here, you can see it was. So this is for 10 shares. I ended up buying, let me see.
10 contracts?
I had 5 contracts.
5 contracts.
Okay. I'm trying to keep it below 500.
Yep.
$100 at least. So for per contract, I was going to lose if I hit my take profit $10.77 ish, as you can see there.
Yep.
And then the take profit was going to be $30 for per contract. I think it's like 12% or 13% for the loss.
Okay.
Which is pretty good. I'm shooting for 10%, but obviously it's hard to find a 10% with such low. It's not very expensive contracts.
Yeah. Okay.
To find that 10% is hard.
Yep.
But the win loss was just really good. It's a 1 to 3 pretty much.
Okay. The risk reward was 1 to 3. That's great. And so how did you find NU in the first place? You used the software for this trade, correct?
Yeah, I did. It was right here. So it was a sweep. They had bought 941 contracts at $158. And since I am looking for contracts and options to trade that are less than $500,
yep,
a lot of the stuff that comes up on the software is like Meta and these other bigger companies where each contract's like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. I can't take that because bigger than my whole portfolio is. So I'm looking for smaller stocks like NU, which it did have good volume as well, which is something that is also difficult when you're looking for those smaller stocks.
Yeah,
because the volume is gonna be smaller. So trying to find that perfect stock is you're like nitpicking, which is good because you want to make good trades. But
that's interesting. Okay, and you can always trade different contracts that. You don't always have to trade, and I rarely do actually take or trade the same contracts that come through on the software.
Yeah, I never do.
But like in this case, these are separate, or are these the same contracts that came through on the software?
These are separate.
These are your own contracts that you went and found, but you saw NU come through on the software. You saw that sweep. It was 150 something thousand worth of puts. Yeah. Okay. And that is how the next day or a couple days after, NU was down 8%.
Yeah, this is
down 8%.
3.5-ish days.
Okay, so you saw the sweep on the software, you looked at NU, you looked at the chart, you identified the ATH pullback setup that I taught you, that is in the mentorship group that I teach, how I go about trading from a technical perspective, and then using my software, those two things went hand in hand. You took that trade and it went well, which I'm glad to see. Anything you think you could have done better?
On this trade, sure, there's something I could have done better. I have to think, though.
Okay. You're good.
But I was going to say something. I remember what I was going to say. Yeah, so I don't take the same exact trade usually that comes up on the software.
Same contracts.
The same contracts, because for the most part, what I've found is those are not aggressive enough to work for the amount of capital I have.
Okay.
So since I have a smaller, since I'm working with a smaller amount of money,
Yep.
I need that more aggressive, like a little bit out of the money or close to expiration date to get that percentage that I'm looking for.
Okay.
Because what I found is a lot of these contracts, they're not looking for at least what my target is, my take profit and stop loss. The percentages aren't there. Like I'm not really making or losing anything. So I have to be a little bit more aggressive.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. That's a good note. So I want to set you up with the ADR calculator, and then maybe we could cover one more of your trades. I think, like I said, I think we are still a ways out from actually transitioning into live capital. We want to get to the point where you are consistently in the green paper trading and going through in like learning, obviously going through all these road bumps, roadblocks, whatever you want to call them. Learning on paper is fine right now. Like I said, the goal isn't necessarily to make money right now. It's to learn. Let me get you set up with the ADR calculator. All right, so this is over inside the mentorship group Discord server. I offer a mentorship group. That's one of the things as a coach and educator in this trading space. I'm here. I'm in the Discord on a daily basis, helping students, working with students. I post daily watch lists. Anytime I'm actually taking a trade personally myself, I'm posting my entries and my exits. A lot of my students do just kind of follow along and copy what I do. I've got a full master class with all the resources, all the videos that you're going to need in order to become a consistently profitable trader. So I kind of, have ways to help anyone, no matter what their goal is, whether you're just looking to, kind of build up another stream of income, you don't have much time to learn how to trade. Like I said, a lot of my students do just kind of follow and copy my trades. Whereas if you really want to commit to learning how to become consistently profitable and spend that time to do so, like Josh is, I do have a master class teaching everything there. But anyway, I'm going to have you go over to the brokers and platforms section under the mentorship right there. And now the ADR calculator, I want you to click on that TOS link and install this tool. All right. And now once this opens up, click view in Thinkorswim. Let's see if it downloaded. Go to your settings, little settings icon on the chart though. Oh yeah, there it is. Click that.
Click to copy.
Yeah.
Preview.
All right. Perfect. And now you've got the Daily Traders ADR calculator. Oh, I forgot. If you guys want the ADR calculator too, there'll be a link in the description below of this video. If you want to download it, I'll give it to you for free just because I want to help everyone as much as I can. So go up to studies and then type in the Daily Traders. Yep. And then add selected. I want you to go to the study and I want you to drag it up so it's above. Just drag it and drop it. And now go to the settings icon on the study itself. Click on that. Now see where it says left axis. You're almost on it right there, left axis. And then, okay, now your average hold period is 5 days, you said?
Yeah.
So change the user defined day to 5. Okay. Now click OK, click apply. So now hit OK. Now see on the top left of your TOS, right there. So we can see the average daily range. Now this only works on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. You can change the range, but I have it default to set to look back at 180 days. So we're using the last 180 days of price movement. So taking into account daily high, the daily low, we are getting an average range as far as how much that stock moves within a day. Neither to the upside or the downside. It's just on average in one day, how much does that stock move? Looking over the last 180 days, we could see ABBV specifically moves about 0.7 or exactly 0.74% per day. Now, the 5-day projected movement is 3.72%. How do we use this? I want you to give me like a theoretical example. So draw a stop loss and take profit, and then I'll show you how to actually use the ADR calculator to determine whether or not that is a realistic target or not. That was a question you had earlier. You could just draw some levels here. I don't know what that blue line is there. It shouldn't be like that. I don't know why it's like that. So just go to your edit studies.
Show study.
Just, yeah, or I think it's the plot. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. That's good. Okay, just put a stop loss there and take profit at the 50-day. The problem you ran into earlier was that you essentially set your target and your stop loss with the assumption that your average hold period, the furthest amount of time in that 3 to 5 day range, right? Say you're holding a stock or a position, on average 3 to 5 days. So you go 5 days out. That is how far you were planning on holding that stock. And at that point, hitting your stop loss or take profit. That is like your max pain on that trade. When you go to run your risk to reward, those are the numbers you're going to be looking at to determine whether that's a trade you should take or not. Now, in this case, I want you to chart out the range and figure out how far away your, let's say in this scenario, you're short and your take profit is at the 50-day. How far away is the 50-day? Okay, 1.9%. Now, is that within the 5-day projected movement on this stock?
Yep.
Yes. So in that case, right, using historical data, we can make an assumption and say, hey, I think this is a realistic target to hit within 5 days. What about your take profit? How far was it? I missed it.
Profit was 1.25-ish, right around there.
Great. So to the best of our knowledge using this tool, we can assume that we will hit our stop loss or take profit within that 5 days. Okay, within 5 days. Now let's go to another example. Let's say pull up any stock. Now,
all right.
Let's say you're short. Let's set your stop loss, take profit, just totally theoretical. Stop loss at the all-time high, let's say 488. And now let's say take profit at, like maybe there, like 396, like right before this thing popped. Just again, this is totally theoretical, but just for the example of how to use the ADR calculator, chart out the range, stop loss and take profit. How far are we from your take profit? Okay.
A lot, too much.
15%. Way outside of our 5-day projected move, 2-3 times more. Okay, so that just means like realistically, unless there's some abnormal move, unless there's earnings, like you could see obviously that giant rally was due to earnings, there's no reason why within 5 days Meta should gap down 15% and hit your take profit. So in that scenario, what would happen would be you would go to the Analyze tab, you would go to run that trade through. From a risk management perspective, you would see, oh my God, there's such a great risk to reward here. My upside is 100% or 80%. The risk to reward presented here is a 1 to 8. Like I'm only risking one part or whatever that one is to make 8. But that is just a super unrealistic target. Now, there's a very extreme example, but that is why using this calculator is going to help you a lot. Now, how far are we from your stop loss? Obviously, we wouldn't take this trade, by the way.
4%.
Yeah. Okay, so that stop loss we could hit within 5 days, but that is an unrealistic target to hit. Now, what is going to happen is you're going to see an increase in your win rate because you start setting more realistic targets. On that trade you took, instead of seeing a 33% loss, you might have not taken that in the first place, or you would have made some adjustments and you would have only taken that 10% or that 20% loss. Maybe you wouldn't have taken that trade. You want to go back and look and see, like, can we try to use some historical data and decide whether that was a trade you would have taken or not now having this tool?
Yeah.
Because you ended up being in that trade for 7 or 8 days and you had only planned on being in that trade for 5 days.
Yes. So
where did you enter and where was your take profit set?
Let me go back to my trade seller real quick. Okay, so 175.56. Let me just mark that. Okay.
So this is like looking back on this trade using this tool. Would this have been a realistic target or not? Let's see. Well, where did you enter?
I entered at 174.99. It's right there. So 4%.
Yep. Which is outside of that 5-day projected movement. Not a ton, but it is outside. And so if you had just have let's say you have a hard and fast rule set that if that projected move or if that target is outside of that projected move, you don't take the trade, which is how the tool should be used. That's what the intention is. I would say in this case, because it is still, even though it's close, but it's still it's outside of that 5-day projected move. Maybe you decide, hey, I want to run the risk to reward for 6 days or 7 days. Like, you can tweak it, and then you can be like, all right, is this trade worth it? But if we want to just keep it simple, just don't take the trade, right? Okay, cool. Do you have any questions? It's pretty straightforward.
No, that's pretty straightforward. This tool is going to help like really narrow down like the good trades to take and make it more realistic. Because like you said earlier, you could set any take profit essentially and be like, this is going to be a great risk to reward.
Yeah.
But is it realistic is the real question. So this tool will be awesome.
Exactly. Okay. Now, Josh, I'm glad you've obviously moved and you're kind of settling down. You're going to have some more time to trade, get some more trades on. Obviously, there's no rush, and we'll keep checking in and touching base. And I've got some more tools and things to give you as we move forward. But so far, so good. Like I said, don't focus on making money, just focus on learning. And I think we should even touch base, just off camera too. But everything like that we went over today, I think regardless, anyone watching, they're going to learn in one way or another. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing. And we will touch base soon with Josh.
Thanks, guys.
See you.